Look at us. We're gonna get this started.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yo, that's hot. Yo, that's hot. You got chain and everything. Everybody's after this man.
Yeah, this looks beautiful.
Wow.
House of Ford turned 106 yesterday. So, I don't know how much jumping or whip cracking he's going to be able to do here. I have high hopes for this movie.
I am so hyped, bro. I am so hyped for this
It's
movie.
going to be great.
Oh, man.
This is Midnight Hype.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's David from Midnight Hype. Just gonna do a quick day review on Avatar: The Way of Water. So, let's start off that we went to Regal and we actually bought tickets for the Regal VIP experience, which was pretty cool, man. It was very different than what we wanted, but it was pretty cool nonetheless. We ended up going with Regal. They got a big one down close to where we're at. They give you free popcorn. They give you stuff like free drinks, slushies. So they got ices and stuff like. They even have a full-blown bar. You can go there and be able to drink. The theater is like housed separate from the regular theater, so you're already, you know, feeling special. One thing that I didn't like was we just had a bit of a bad experience when we first came to that Regal. It was just weird with one of the patrons, this lady that was there. I'll tell you this quick story because it's funny. But this lady that was there, she we went straight ahead to the bar. We did the bar. We ordered some drinks. It was Vlad and myself. And then we went to the left because the lady at the bar said, "Hey, you can help yourself with some popcorn and you can be able to grab it and pour some butter on it. Good to go." I said, "All right, no problem. Say no more." So we ended up doing that and went over to the popcorn stand right there where they have the hot popcorn. This lady opened it up and she was taking a popcorn for herself and she offered Vlad some popcorn. She's like, "Do you want some popcorn, honey?" And Vlad's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll have some popcorn." So she goes and she grabs the popcorn from the top of the popcorn bag, not even from the side like a regular human being. She grabs it from the top where the popcorn is at, hands it to Vlad. It just, it freaked me out. I was just like, I seen it and I was like, what? So Vlad took it thinking nothing, and then she did the same thing to me. She grabbed the popcorn from the top, handed it to me, and I was like, nah. I looked at it and I looked at her and I said, "This bitch." And I put her right back into the thing. Then I grabbed one from the back and she's like, "Well, if you should have told me if you wanted one from the back. You know, one that was from the back that was hot." So yeah, I like it from the ones that are in the back. They're usually more hot and they got less fingerprints on it. So listen, lady, if you're watching this, please don't do that ever again to anybody else other than your family members. And even if you're doing that for your family members, they don't want your fingerprints on the popcorn. Man, you're making it awkward for everybody here. I thought this was VIP. Why it feels like Walmart? Come on. Anyway, that was my first rant. After that, things kind of got snowballed. Vlad poured a ton of popcorn. He poured a ton of butter on his popcorn. He did. I mean, he wanted it like that's fine. What happened was we were eating it during the movie and it got all over his shirt, which is pretty funny. He spent like 10 minutes washing his shirt out. We were supposed to do a Q&A as well. That didn't happen because of circumstances and there was tons of traffic getting there. We had a bad rainstorm that day. Anyway, regardless, let's focus on what we're here for, which is a quick day review on Avatar: The Way of Water. So Avatar, would I suggest you watching this movie? I would say yes, 100% yes. Watch the movie when you get a chance. If you get a chance, just watch the movie. It's a very good movie. The storyline's way better than it was in the first one, by far. I believe James Cameron wrote this one, the third one, the fourth one. I don't know if he's done the fifth one yet. But Vlad knows a lot more about this than I do. But I know for a fact he directed all of them together because he wanted them done with the characters that he's got. He didn't want them to age significantly throughout different movies, you know. He wanted to keep it kind of like how they did Harry Potter. Harry Potter did it like every year. So you see the characters, you see the kids age into grown people instead of just them popping up in the next movie. They're like 6 foot tall, ready to go to college. And it's like, I thought you were in 3rd grade last time I saw you. What happened? It's a very good movie. I highly suggest you see it. Visually, it is stunning. And I said this too before. Visually, this movie is very arresting. You're going to like the way this movie looks. You're going to like the technology that they use because it looks so real. It actually looks like it was filmed in a different planet with these beings in it. That's how real it looks. It's going from PS3 to PS5 in terms of the first movie to the fifth one, to the second movie. It's by far superior than it was from the first Avatar movie. Aside from that, like I said, the story was good, the visuals are good. The movie, the only gripe I have about this movie is that it's too damn long. This movie, when we got out of the theater, it was pitch black and we went in at 2 p.m. I was like, what? And you feel it. At least to me, when I saw the movie, I felt it. It was one of those things where it was like, okay, the first hour of the movie was great. Right off the bat, too, character development with characters from before, too. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So, yeah, spoiler alert. You're going to be hearing a lot of things about this movie that's going to be spoiler-ish. But again, I'm going to try to keep it clean, compact. Yeah, they bring a lot of characters from the first movie back, and that's pretty cool. The people that you wouldn't even expect to see back, they're back. Within the first hour, like I said, magnificent. You get the whole story about what happened, why they coming back, why the humans are back to do what they gotta do over in Pandora. And you get to catch up with Jake Sully and I think her name was Neytiri. You get to catch up with them. You get to catch up with how they are as a family now, because they got a family of 4, I believe. They have a family of 4 now. 4 kids, so 6 in total. Kind of gloss over it real quick just to get through with it. So first hour, nice. Good character development. Second hour is like National Geographic, alright? All I needed was like Morgan Freeman and now the Navia swimming in the oceans, and they're diving deep to get their food, and they're swimming with their whale friends that happen to talk. So it just feels like that. It feels like very National Geographic. I feel like if anywhere in the movie needed to be cut or condensed, it would have been the middle. That middle hour could have been chopped up a little bit better, because once you get the feel of seeing things and of seeing Pandora, it's like, okay, why are we still going over this again? Let's keep the story moving a little bit further. Third hour of this movie, action-packed. Action-packed. And there's some stuff on that I'm going to catch up and talk about, but it is action-packed. So first hour, third hour, does it to me. Took the cake. It was great. I was like, damn, this is... It turned up to 11 on that third hour, man. I said, damn, this is really good. They did a really good job, man. Cameron, he knows what he's doing, you know. Box office-wise, this movie did really well, too. And that's a good thing, because he was saying that it's going to be like $2 billion in order for the movie, for Avatar: The Way of Water, to be fully able to break even at that. So think about that. $2 billion. He's already halfway there. But of course, he's got a lot of Asian markets, so like Chinese market, bringing money in more so than domestically or at limited screenings around the world. But he's got a lot of backing from those countries. The movie, like I said, if it got rid of that, it'd be great. Let's go over some key parts of the movie that I really liked, and some of them that I liked, some of them that I thought were weird. Right off the bat, what I like is Courage, the colonel from the first movie. They brought him back as an avatar. Now, I wasn't expecting this at all. It just took me for a loop. I'm like, what? So him and his whole team, which his whole team was like 10 soldiers, basically. They just set up to fall down. They shouldn't have given them banshees, you know? They should have just given them something else, because he was the only one riding the banshee towards the end. He's the only one that survived. You know, again, spoilers, Quaritch comes back through, I would say, divine conception, if you will. Through divine conception, Sigourney Weaver's character from the first movie, who was an Avatar, and I think they try to put her in the Avatar body in the last movie. I think they got her consciousness of Awa, and it didn't work out. Turns out her Avatar is still alive, right? Because they are alive. They just don't have a conscience. But her Avatar gave birth to, it could even be a clone, I guess, a clone of her or something. But her Avatar gave birth to another Avatar, which is Kiri, who we see is voiced by Sigourney Weaver, but they just like toned down the pitch or something like that. They made her sound young. So she's in the movie. Sigourney Weaver's in the movie. You got Buddy, that was a colonel, is in the movie as an Avatar. And he's like, how can I get to Jake Sully? And he's thinking about it. He's like, we gotta become the enemy. We gotta become the Avatars, you know? So we gotta become the Na'vi. So he ends up doing that. He ends up learning the ways of the Na'vi, but again, just to use it for his own benefit and to use it towards, you know, his goal and his mission in mind, which is he's trying to eradicate Jake Sully because Jake Sully's making things bad for the company that pays him. We find out Earth is dying. We find out sooner or later there's going to be humans living here, so sooner or later these humans are going to come by the boatload, which they already have. And then the beginning of the movie too just shows it too. James Cameron really wants to drive home that whole point of humans are evil type of stuff, because you see them big giant rockets coming down, and it looked like he took a page off his own book when it came to that one scene, because it looked like a lot like Terminator 2. Remember when the nuclear blast comes off and you got what's her name? She was holding onto the fence, and then you see the fire just engulfing just the buildings and just that nuclear blast. That's what it looked like. Another favorite scene that I like, another standout scene that I did like, they do show that Kiri she could be, if you think about it, she could be, maybe she's like the second coming of Awa, or Awa's avatar, meaning the planet has an avatar, and it could be Kiri, because she controls a lot of things that nobody else can. So she can direct plants, wildlife, fauna, and she could just direct them to do whatever she needs them to do. Obviously, it's all with good purpose and good intentions and stuff. And you see that a lot throughout the movie. So she's special right off the rip. Jake Sully is Jake Sully. He's doing whatever he needs to do to protect his family. Another thing that I didn't like is they get ousted from the rainforest. So they're like the forest tribe, and they leave from there and they go to the water tribe. And the water tribe really is like, okay, we know of you, you're good peoples and all that stuff, but what do you want, you know? And they make these guys seem very Polynesian in a certain type of way, so they take a lot of aspects from that and drop it in there. Much more so that you see them performing like the little Polynesian moves and stuff like that, where they do their ceremonies, you know, the whole dance and the whole facial expressions, like that's what they did in the movie, and it was cringy, man, because it's like, to me it feels like they should have done something that was native to their world, native to their species, as opposed to taking something that was already human. Does that make sense? And that's how I felt about that. Another cool part though is a lot of and nobody's been talking about this either, but a lot of the vehicles and a lot of the suits, they look very, like, I seen it and I'm like, man, this reminds me of like Chappie. This reminds me of like just District 9-ish looking, you know, which was very cool. I like that. So when I saw it, I was like, man, this reminds me of that. And come to find out, Weta Workshop was the one that was doing a lot of, if not all, the vehicle concepts. They did a lot of stuff for Avatar, and that they injected their own little flavor on there too. The underwater scenes were pretty hot too, man. I gotta tell you that. When they were like fighting the humans, and there was like these humans that were going around, they're basically like whaling or whalers. You know, say what you will, whaling is still around to this day. A lot of people whale because, you know, they still have food, they still need food, and that's a food source that they have. But if somebody does it for other purposes or for sport, That sucks. It's kind of dicey around that area, but they wanted to show that. So that was something else that James Cameron put in for it. But he made it kind of weird. He made it kind of weird because it was like, alright, so you're doing all this, but the whales talk now. So the whales in their planet are supposed to be these highly intelligent species, and the whales happen to talk, you know. And what happens? The humans, somehow, some way, they find out that the whales have this thing in their brain. I guess it's like some kind of chemical in their brains that the humans want to harvest, and that makes humans stop aging completely, like 100%. You take this, you're gonna stay the same way forever. So effectively making you immortal, I guess. That's what these whalers are doing. They kind of did that, and I didn't know how to feel about that. I thought it was kind of weird. I thought it was a little bit different, you know. I don't know if it would have been the right thing to do, but towards the end, they made up for it by showing you that these intelligent beings, these intelligent whales, actually are smart, and they actually know what to do, and they knew how to get around from that guy, especially this one whale, which he was like, you know, the black sheep of the whales because he killed Navi, or he killed humans, and that was a no-no to this water tribe. But he was doing what he had to do. He was defending himself. He was defending the Navi that he was sworn to protect. So I don't know. But other than that, they set it up for a third movie, obviously. Oh, Quaritch has a son. His son is actually left over from the last time they were there, and they had to evacuate. But the son was like a young kid. So we don't know whose son it is. I don't know whose son it is. Mother-wise. Father-wise, we know it's Quaritch's son. And he's a little bit grown in the movie. You see him, he's trying hard to be a Navi. He's still got to wear the face mask with a breather and all that stuff. That's his son, and his son and him, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. They try to bond, and it doesn't really work out. Towards the end, Jake Sully pulls him into like a full Nelson and like chokes him out underwater, and his son goes and actually grabs him from underwater and saves his life. And he's like, "Come with me, son," and the kid's like, "No, I'm going through the Sullys." So that's not how he sounded, but so the kid ultimately went with the Sully family, Quaritch, and left. So Quaritch, you know what? And this might be the case. I was talking to Vlad about this. Quaritch seems like he will change over to the Navi sooner or later. So what's gonna happen with Quaritch is, I feel like, or I said we should feel like, Midnight Hype here, we feel like he's gonna change from his position where he's at to going with the Navi the more he learns about their ways and their traditions. It seems like it to me. Now, there's another general that they put in place, and I feel like she was miscast. I feel like they should have taken somebody else, because this general just gives a feeling of she doesn't care. She doesn't care about the military operation. She really doesn't care. They make her with the mission of, yeah, we need them out of here because he's causing trouble and blah, 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 and it's causing millions and millions and millions of dollars for the company. I get it. I understand. But they should have picked somebody else that had a more screen presence, if you will. If she had more screen presence, then maybe it would have worked. But they picked her. But I feel like what's going to happen is that she's going to get somebody else involved, a big gun involved, somebody that's going to be the big bad the next go around, and she's going to hire this person to go after Quaritch, because now she's getting sick and tired of Quaritch. He's not doing his thing. This colonel's not doing his thing. He already died one time, man, and he almost got choked out the second time and almost drowned. So, alright, she might be getting tired of him. She might get somebody else and play something to that effect, where she's going to call somebody else to take them both out, both him and Jake Sully and family, because now you're causing a big whole mess of trouble for everybody here. Other than that, I give this movie an 8.5, a 9, around there, out of 10. So 8.5, 9 out of 10, strictly for the fact that it should have been cut, man. This movie, we're in the movie theater for like 3 hours and 20 minutes, and that's like with the trailers, because they had trailers on top of this thing too. So it's, yeah, it was a lot, man. It was a long time. You know, I went to the bathroom like 2 times, like, bro, I never do this, and now you got me getting up and everything like that. And I know James Cameron's like, oh, if you could sit there and watch a 4-hour Zack Snyder film, yeah, but that had chapters and that had breaks, and I can get up and go to the bathroom and come back and hit the play button. With this one, it's not. So I have to time it and be like, oh, they're still underwater, doing nothing. All right, let me go to the bathroom. So That's my only gripe, like I said, it's just that middle part right there. Aside from that, the movie was excellent. I highly suggest you do see it. Go and see it, just go and see it. You're gonna not be disappointed, I'll say that much. Yeah, I hope you guys like this movie review with a Dave review. We were trying to get it out, but Vlad is on vacation, so I had to, you know, push it out somewhere or another. So hope you guys liked it. If you guys want to see more, definitely like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help us out. It brings us up on that YouTube algorithm. It brings us up more and more, and we're very grateful for you guys watching this. And thank you guys for having us reach those 100 subscribers, man. Our next goal is 250. After that, it'll be 500. We're trying to get to 1,000 fast. That way we can get more and more content to you. A special shout out for everybody that's with us since the beginning, and for those who stuck around with movie reviews. We don't do a lot of these. You guys seem to like more and more trailer reactions, so it seems fitting that we do trailer reactions, but of course we got to keep our end of the bargain up by doing movie reviews. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we appreciate you, and we'll hope to see you on the next one. Later.